A national championship on the line today in the Lone Star State as we welcome you to East Texas Baptist University, beautiful Bell Park at Taylor Field for Game 2 between Belhaven and East Texas Baptist. The Blazers took Game 1 1-0 yesterday. They are now just one game away from their first ever national championship. ETBU will have to win too. The third time these two teams have seen each other in a week. Both games decided by a single run. Defense has been the difference.
Defense has no doubt been the difference maker. We've seen it all on the infield and the outfield. Web jams, saving runs has been the name of the game here in the postseason. And let's just talk about Cummings on third base, doing it on both sides, offense and defense. She has been a staple there on third base, and she is ready to go.
The Tigers will have to win, too. Cummings, the star senior from Houston, will certainly play a part. That much we know for sure. Glad to have you with us on NCAA.com alongside Dr. Ian McMichael. I'm Kit McConico. Blazers making the trip over from Jackson, Mississippi, hoping today is the history-making day. We said it, these two teams, 2 games this week, 1 run each, the difference. Look at how close they are. Right down the middle, very little separating these two sides. They're former conference foes. They know each other. And this, the 27th all-time meeting. Maddie Melton in the circle to start for the Tigers. The 5'6" junior lefty out of Hallsville, the local product, will get the start for this side. 6 2/3 innings in that Game 1. That victory over Belhaven back on Friday, 3-2 the final. Walked 2, struck out 2, did Melton. Belhaven, well, no changes in the lineup for the Blazers, as you would imagine. Miller, Gordon, and the star pitcher, Caruth, 1, 2, and 3. Jones, Richardson, Parker in the heart of the order. Kaimi, Weidmeyer, and Stockstill rounding things out for the visitors. So Belhaven, the visitor in the ball game, up to bat first. Looking to get off to a quick start. They scored first yesterday. A run in the second, took the opener, found insurance in the fourth. ETBU was able to plate 3 to take a lead in the 5th, but it was only briefly. Over to second, White. No trouble, 4-3 on the first out. Here is how the Tigers start defensively. Melton in the circle. Brady Glenn is her catcher. Torrin Cummings at third. Tristan Maddox at short. You've seen Courtney White there at second. Del Loya is the first baseman. Bella Morales starts in left. Mary Ellis Francis in center. And Emma Bell, the right fielder for the Tigers. Allie Gordon comes to the plate. Gordon leading this team here in the championship. She is batting .500 through 6 games, 10 hits and 20 at-bats, 6 runs batted in, slugging over 1,000%. I mean, you talk about being hot at the right time. Gordon, the graduate student from Macon, Georgia, she's absolutely on fire.
And she is seeing the ball so well here late, and that's exactly what you want. She's a tough out. She is able to get ahead and strike early, and she's also able to sit back on changeup, so it makes it very hard to get her out. She does a great job of staying balanced through her legs, and she's a tough out.
She was 2 for 3 in Game 1 yesterday in our championship final opener, a pair of singles in her second 2 at-bats. Melton faced these Blazers on Friday. She will look to pick up this critical must-win victory here today. Again, a best-of-3 series. Blazers took Game 1 yesterday. 4-3 the final. ETBU has to win this game, and if they do, they will force it to a decisive third game. Winner take all between these two teams who know each other so well. We said it, former members of the ASC before Belhaven moved over to the Collegiate Conference of the South. Belhaven having won 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two as Melton picks up the first out via the K.
Melton doing a great job. Keys for Melton here for these hitters is to continue to work ahead in the count. She's got to make sure she mixes in the off-speed, changing locations, changing planes. And most importantly, just to continue to mix her sequence. These are smart hitters, and they keep adjusting. She's got to make sure she's open and adjusting with them.
Huge out there for Melton, taking down the Blazers' top bat in Gordon. And now her counterpart, Kennedy Caruth, comes to the plate. We'll tell you more about her when she heads to the circle in the bottom of the inning. But what a career she has had. A graduate student out of St. Francisville, Louisiana, just outside of Baton Rouge. 4-time conference Player of the Year in the circle. She has been absolutely stellar here in the postseason, has pitched every inning of the last 12 games, and has led the Blazers to the brink of their first national title.
Caruth doing it both in the mound and in the batter's box. You can see here with this game, Caruth has scooted back in the box. She's usually up in front of the box, but with the spin of Melton, she's decided to make this adjustment. As hitters, you have to constantly move in the box to get the best pitch for your at-bat.
Caruth, a 158 average here in the 6 games of the championship. 3 hits and 19 at-bats, 1 run batted in for the 5'9" righty. Melton looking to retire the Blazers in order. First time up to face her. 2 down, 2-2 to Caruth. Off the end of the bat and right over to Maddox, the All-American, makes it, and it is 3 up, 3 down for Belhaven. And now the Tigers coming to bat for the first time. We'll get you the order after this. Kennedy Caruth in the circle as she has been each pitch the last 12 games. The 5'9" righty, the graduate student out of St. Francisville, Louisiana. Stillman Institute by way of Coastal Alabama South Community College. Against ETBU, her last 11 games has a 9-2 record, 75 innings pitched, a 1.49 ERA, averaging 4.7 strikeouts per 7 innings. Here is who she will face. Maddox, White, and Bell, 1, 2, and 3. The All-American shortstop from South Texas leading things off for the Tigers. Stum as a designated player. Cummings and Del Loya in 4, 5, and 6. Morales, Melton, and Ellis round out the order. Maddox, a 3-run home run yesterday over the left center field wall. That made it 3-2. Gave her Tigers a brief lead. Belhaven able to respond very quickly. Over to third, Gordon. Across in time. Nicely done by Allie Gordon for the first out.
We've talked so much about defense. Defense wins championships, and just understanding positioning and who's up to bat, making sure you're in the right spot at the right time. And that's exactly what Gordon did, getting the first out in the inning. So important.
With 1 away, it brings Courtney White, the second baseman, up to bat. White 0 for 2 in game 1 of this championship final yesterday. Takes the first pitch right to Parker at second, and it's quickly 2 away. We get you the defensive lineup for Belhaven. Caruth in the circle. Anna Kayemi is her catcher. Allie Gordon having already introduced herself at third. Sarah Stockstill is the shortstop. Natalie Parker there at second. Ellie Jones at first. The outfield, Mary Moore Weidemeyer in left, Maddie Miller in center, and Jordan Knipe is the right fielder for the Blazers. Into left, Weidemeyer makes the catch. So both teams go in order in the first. Still looking for the opening to run as we head to the second. Best teams in Division III softball. We have the best umpires as well. John Schaefer behind the plate. Linda Long is at first. And Tracy Golding at third for the championship final. Glad to have you with us on NCAA.com. A very warm welcome wherever you may be joining us from. Alongside the Hall of Famer, I'm Kit McConico. As the Blazers went in order, first time facing Maddie Melton. Now the heart of the order, 4, 5, and 6, Jones, Richardson, and Parker up to face the junior lefty. Quick 0-2 count to Jones, the first baseman. Was 2 for 3 Game 1 of yesterday's championship final, including a 2 RBI single. That would ultimately prove to be the winning run, part of that 2-run bottom of the 5th when the Blazers took back the lead and never relinquished it.
I like that Melton's working ahead with these hitters, going right at them, spinning the ball, mixing speeds, keeping them off balance.
Junior from Nesbitt, Mississippi, watches it outside to even the count. Here in the championship, Jones a .267 average. That is 5th on the Blazers. Has 4 hits and 15 at-bats, 2 runs batted in the 6 games they've played. Chopped over to Cummings, takes it on a hop, no trouble. The star senior from H-Town just continues to impress, a rock at third.
Cummings is so solid at third base, and I love that she challenges these hitters. She's right up in their face, not afraid to read and react. Just fun to watch there on third base.
With 1 away, Blazers designated player Katie Jo Richardson steps to the plate for the first time in the ball game. 2nd on the team here in the championship, batting .294, but you can argue she's the hardest out. She's been able to get a board seemingly every time via a hit or a walk.
Richardson is a great hitter in the box. What I love so much about Richardson is that she has a really good understanding of what she's looking to attack. And you work on that on deck. You don't work on that in the box. And she's looking for that pitch, and she's going to swing and hit it as hard as she can.
Junior from Cordova, Alabama, has great vision. You said it. If it is not a strike, if it is not a pitch that she wants, she is not going to pull the trigger. Just amazing restraint from Richardson as she has gotten ahead at 2-1 here. There is that vision we mentioned from Richardson. 3-1. Looks for all the world that she was going to give it a hack. Elected not to, and now what does she do here? Full count to the Blazers' designated player, Katie Jo Richardson.
One reason why Richardson is so effective is that she sits low in her legs, which helps her maintain that balance throughout the zone, so it's hard to get her out of rhythm.
Richardson down swinging on the payoff pitch. 2nd out of the inning, 2nd strikeout for Melton.
And that's a great mix with Melton. She understands that Richardson is seeing the ball really well, spinning the ball well through the zone, mixing speeds and planes, and challenging these right-handers with that inside curveball. It makes it hard for them to get their hands through the ball.
Blazers in danger of going in order for the 2nd consecutive inning. Second baseman Parker at the plate, trying to get something going. The senior righty out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. Parker, 2 hits and 15 at-bats here in the championship. Quickly behind 0-2. Melton dealing early.
One thing that we've talked about before, every pitcher has a rhythm. Melton works pretty fast. She has an understanding of what and how she's going to attack each hitter. And once she gets her feet on the rubber, she's ready to go.
You've seen some pitchers that they'll take their time, and you see that just very content to take those extra seconds. Melton works very quickly, trying to keep up the momentum. 2 away, 1-2. Rise ball just missing there.
And to that point, every pitcher has their own way of how they interact with balls and strikes in between each pitch, and you can't box them in. You have to allow pitchers to work in a way that's authentic to them.
Cummings across for the 3rd out, and again the Blazers go in order. Still scoreless. Tigers looking to change that in the bottom of the 2nd. Welcome back. Beautiful Marshall, Texas, here on the campus of ETBU, Bell Park at Taylor Field, where the Tigers, they are 24-1 this season at home. 52-3 the last 2 years. That one loss this year, well, that came yesterday against these same Blazers, the first blemish on the home record for the Tigers. As they are now backs against the wall. Win to continue. The Blazers will take that first ever national championship. Caruth back in the circle, able to send ETBU back to the dugout in order the first time they came to face the star righty. And now the heart of the order, Stum, Cummings, and Loya up to face Caruth for the first time. Haley Stum leading things off as a designated player. Stum 1 for 3 in game 1 of this contest yesterday. The freshman out of Cypress, Bridgeland High School product down in Southeast Texas. Off the hands. It'll drop foul.
One thing to note for pitchers as they're prepping for a game, when they're warming up, every pitcher has a go-to, and it's so important for the pitcher and catcher to communicate what that go-to is to the coach who's calling the pitches, so they have an understanding of how they're going to attack. And your go-to pitch can change every inning, so constant communication is so important.
Kaimi tried to frame it. We've seen some great catching here across the championship from all 8 teams. Kaimi may be the best we've seen, though. She is an absolute stalwart behind the plate, making things that much easier for her great pitcher, Caruth.
There's no doubt catchers work so hard to get their pitchers strikes, understanding how they throw, when they throw, and what to anticipate for each pitch and how they move and how they spin. But not only just the catching and framing, just understanding the personnel and who's on the mound and knowing what to say and how to keep them present during the game.
Stum into left field. Inches foul. That one coming off the wall. Stum looking for extra bases.
That's a great piece of hitting. Caruth challenges her with that inside curveball. She does a great job of keeping her hands inside, and she keeps her front shoulder down a little bit more, and that ball has a different ending.
Stum, 286 average here in the championship. 4 hits and 14 at-bats. Also 2 runs batted in for number 8. Able to fight off the 2-2. What a year for the freshman from Bridgeland. Conference Freshman of the Year in the ASC, all ASC first team, all American third team. And talked at length about making that transition from high school to college, how difficult it is. Generally the case, not so much for Stum.
And that transition can be challenging. The biggest thing as you progress levels is the speed of the game. So just speaks volumes to Stum as an athlete, coming in, making a big difference, being a difference maker here in the postseason.
Getting her money's worth in this leadoff at bat in bottom of the second, scoreless. TBU looking for their first base runner. Neither team has been able to get one aboard thus far. Again, Stum just battling. One thing they've seen from Caruth, trying to get a lot of pitches for the rest of her team. And as good as Kennedy Caruth is, they know that they can certainly find something if they're patient. Cannot afford to get behind with a pitcher of this caliber. Gets away from Caruth, and it'll be a full count now to Stum.
Such a good at-bat here from Stum. One thing I want to point out with Stum, the way that she stands in the box, she's in her legs, and it keeps her so balanced, and she's able to be on time for the fast and sit back on the slow.
Payoff pitch. Stum fights it off yet again. It is standing room only here at Bell Park at Taylor Field, a beautiful facility here in the Piney Woods of East Texas. They've been great hosts all week. Again, we cannot thank them enough. We have dealt with weather of all kinds. They've kept us safe, they've kept us fed, and they've been fantastic hosts. Haley Stum waits the 3-2 underneath it, and that is going to drop just foul. So Stum will have to head back to the plate.
It's just a great at-bat, being able to, again, Be on time for the inside pitch, driving it to the left side of the field, but staying back enough in her legs to take that screwball to the right side of the field. That's exactly what you want with 2 strikes. Stay in your legs, see the ball deep, and just looking to make contact.
12th pitch of the at-bat for Stum. Not going quietly, trying to find something off Caruth. And she's got it, base hit into right field. Stum, they will hold her at first. A lead-off single. It took 12 pitches, but the Tigers with their first hit and first base runner of the ball game.
It's a great job at bat, and I love the emotion on first base as Stum fouls off, works great job with 2 strikes, driving the ball to the left side, finding a way to get the ball to the right side of the field, and she's fired up.
Freshman from Bridgeland does her job, and now Cummings to the plate, the star third baseman from Houston. Stafford offered at it here in the championship. Cummings, .214 average, 3 hits, 14 at bats. As we said, she has been an absolute rock on the hot corner. Pair that with the All-American next to her, Maddox. As good a left side of an infield as you are going to find anywhere. Cummings herself an All-American in 2021, awaits the 1-0. Shows bunt, unable to put it down.
What I love so much about Cummings is that she's such a team player. There's no doubt that she has power, but doing what the game needs and attempting to put the bunt down to move a base runner is exactly what the game needs, and she's willing to do that. Just being open and being adaptable and flexible, that's what you want as a teammate.
4-year All-ASC first-team honoree. 4-time All-Region player as well. Bunts that one back into the screen, 1-2 now.
I love that pitch from Caruth in bunt situations. Pitchers, if you have an upspin or a high fastball, anything to take the batter's eyes up, it makes it hard for them to stay on top of the ball. And there's more of a chance for the hitter to pop it up.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that yesterday, the +5, -5 thing. And for those who maybe not know, would you enlighten those of our viewers out there?
Absolutely. For pitchers, if you have an upspin and a downspin, it makes it so challenging for hitters to have a good understanding of where the ball is. For pitchers, if you top out at 60, anything high, for the hitter, it comes at 65 miles an hour. Anything waist below, it's -5, so it comes in 55. So for hitters, it's all about timing. So you can only imagine what that does to a hitter's timing when you go up and down in the box. And that's what you want to do as a pitcher. Everything that you're doing is trying to interrupt that timing. So if you have a rise ball and a drop ball and a changeup, that's pretty much all you need to keep those hitters guessing. It makes it hard for them to square up.
Our umpire crew comes together again. John Schaefer behind home plate, Linda Long at first, Tracy Golding at third, and you see Kevin Griffin, the 14th year head coach of Belhaven, having a word there with the first base umpire. What a job he's done, and they are going to review. We will see what our umpire, John Schaefer, Kevin Griffin, alerted our first base umpire very quickly. I'll tell you more about Kevin Griffin and what he's been able to accomplish in Jackson in just a moment. But first, the review. So again, they're going to check to see if Stum left early. The ruling on the field was that she did not, but right in front of that Belhaven dugout down the first base line. Let's take a look.
Looks like her foot is still on first base as the ball is released from Caruth's hand, so I'm not sure. Looks like she's still on the base to me.
I'm with you. I saw the same thing. It looked like her foot's still on the base, and that ball had been released by Kennedy Caruth. Talking about Kevin Griffin, 14th year in charge, 69% win percentage over 450 victories. He helped lead the transition from NAIA to the NCAA. And then on to the NCAA tournament berth in 2021. You think about this, 3 years later in the championship, playing for a national title. That is, I mean, it's astounding to me how quickly and smoothly he has led this ascent in Jackson.
And it's so impressive. And while Belhaven may be the new kids on the block here, they certainly do not play like it. They play as though they expected to be here. And they're loose and they trust each other, and that is accredited to the culture that has been built with the Belhaven softball program.
We'll see what our umpire Schaefer has to say. Call on the field upheld. They saw what we did. Still a foot on the bag when Caruth released the pitch. Here's one last look. And you can see there that left toe out of the hand of Kennedy Caruth. Good call from our umpires. So Cummings digs back in. A 1-2 count, no outs. Stum representing the opening run at first. Outside, Cummings watches as the count evens. And we talk about these two long-tenured coaches. Coach Griffin, 14th year in charge. His counterpart, Coach Shirley, she's 17th year in charge of her alma mater. Consistency and the patience has led to the success. It's taken time. Now a full count.
We've talked so much about these hitters and understanding what pitch they're looking for. They're so balanced. They have an understanding of, they know Caruth is going to challenge them on the outside half of the plate, but just staying balanced in their legs is key as a hitter in the box. The more you're in your legs, the more balance you have.
Cummings down, swinging, first strikeout for Kennedy Caruth.
Caruth just continues to challenge. Her go-to right now is that curveball on the outside half of the plate. And right there on the corner, as the ball continues to spin away from the hitter, it makes it so hard for them to barrel up on the ball.
So Caruth picking up the first out of the inning. Now the first baseman for the Tigers, Del Loya, at the plate. Loya, the junior, out of Austin from Aikens High School. Here in the championship. Loya batting .182, 2 hits and 11 at-bats for the Central Texas native. Loya ahead in the count, 2-0. We mentioned the consistency from Kennedy Caruth. The last time she was not in the circle for a single pitch, that was over a month ago, back on May the 4th. She started that game against Maryville, was replaced in a game they ultimately lost 6-5. But every inning, every pitch since then, the last 12 games has been by that star right there, number 18 in green. She has led the Blazers here, and hoping to finish things off, give them that ultimate prize, a national championship. It would be their first ever at TBU, having won their lone title back in 2010, hoping for a chance at another.
And consistency is so important, especially on the mound. If your defense is very comfortable behind your pitcher, that makes a big difference as well. They understand what your tendencies are. They understand positioning. They understand the path that hitters typically take on the pitches that are being thrown. It makes a big difference.
So we mentioned the kind of loose, jovial atmosphere there for the Blazers before this one. It's the same thing we saw yesterday, the same thing we've seen all week here in the championship. Teams really take on the personality of their coaches, and you see that with Kevin Griffin, kind of, not that he's not serious about winning, but a little more lighthearted, and from his team, they reflect that very well. But once that first pitch is thrown, it is all business when the Blazers are out there.
Absolutely, and leadership takes on many forms. There's no right or wrong way in which you go about doing that, but the most important part, just as you said, is that as leaders, you have to be authentic to who you are, and you're right, the teams take on the personality of the coach.
Loya waiting the payoff pitch. Loya down swinging, second strikeout in a row for Caruth.
What makes Caruth so challenging is that I mentioned before, her balls continue to move throughout the zone, and the closer it gets to the plate, the more it tails away from the hitter. She throws a lot of swings and misses because of the movement and the spin she has on her pitches.
Well, left fielder for the Tigers, Bella Morales, up for the first time to face Caruth. Caruth after a leadoff single to Stump. She's been stranded at first. 2 strikeouts since, as Cummings and Loya both going down swinging. Beautiful day here in East Texas, just about 79 degrees. The humidity making it feel more about 84. There is a breeze going out to left center field. And the bunt laid down. Morales safe at first, quickly out of the box, and now the Tigers with a runner in scoring position for the first time.
And I love this, just seeing the ball all the way down, sparking the offense, speed coming out of the box, just showing different ways on how to get on.
Coach Shirley, we've said it, her team, they will take advantage of runners aboard. They really pose problems for opposing pitchers. You cannot take a breath when the Tigers are on the base pass. As Maddie Melton, the pitcher, comes to the plate, does the junior from Hallsville. A local product trying to aid her own cause.
One adjustment here for hitters with a pitcher like Caruth who has that leg break is that you want to see the ball deep. The longer you see the ball, the more you're able to understand the spin and square up on the ball.
Melton trying to come with her first hit of the championship. Those 6 2/3 innings against these Blazers back on Friday. Give up just 1 run, 1 hit. Trying to aid her own cause here with 2 away.
What I like from Caruth is that it doesn't matter what is going on around her, is she never breaks her rhythm. She's able to stay even keel, stay within herself, silence the noise, and just focus on the batter.
2 on, 2 out, 2-1. Make it 2-2. And Coach, that seems to be the number this week. We've said it on more than one occasion. We'll see what the Tigers can do with 2s all across. Here, appropriately enough, game 2. Fought off by Melton.
Again, Melton here with 2 strikes, allowing the ball to travel. That's so hard for a hitter. But staying in your back leg allows you to stay on the ball a lot longer and stay balanced throughout your swing.
Fought off again. Tigers fans making noise. Hoping Melton can extend this inning. Trying to find the first run here in a scoreless bottom of the second. Tigers will have to win 2 if they're going to take home their second ever national title. Belhaven, after taking game 1 yesterday, they are just 1 win away. Again, Melton doing a very good job against her counterpart.
We talk so much about the rhythm of the pitcher, but there's also rhythm for hitters as well. The 2 strikes, Melton just taking her time, deep breathing, slowing everything down, allowing the ball to travel, and she just wants to stay short to contact.
Melton chases it low. And the Tigers unable to take advantage. Their first base runners in the ball game. 2 left on. Still scoreless through 2 here in Marshall.
We're scoreless.
Top of the third, scoreless here in beautiful Marshall, Texas. Glad to have you with us on NCAA.com, wherever you may be joining us from. Blazers have gone in order their first 2 innings, trying to find something off of Maddie Melton, the junior. She has been absolutely stellar here in the postseason. The staff for ETBU giving up 12 earned runs in 11 postseason games. Melton, no ERA, 0.0 ERA. 11 innings pitched, 2-0 record, 4 strikeouts coming into this game. You can add 2 more to it.
Well, let's just talk about Melton, who last inning had a tough at bat and transitioning straight to the mound. That's a challenge, no doubt, in and of itself. One of the things that you can do as a pitcher or defender coming back out to defense, you have to have tools that will help you settle down. It could be a deep breath, it could be walking down to the dugout, but whatever that is to help you clear it so you can come back the next inning and be fresh.
Miami, the catcher, leading things off with a 2-2 count. Left fielder Mary Moore Weidmeyer waiting on deck. Stockstill, shortstop in the 9-hole, will follow. You said it, had that leadoff single to right, but it took some 12 pitches and over to short. No trouble. Maddox there. We talked about that rock solid left side of the infield. They just continue to be consistent. That's all you want to see. Making those easy outs, doing the work.
And being consistent with the routine is so important. The web jams will come, but it's the everyday plays that matter most.
Left fielder Mary Moore Weidmeyer at the plate. The junior righty from Hattiesburg, by way of East Central Community College. He was 1 for 3, an RBI single. Part of that 2-run 4th inning. Again, Maddox, the All-American out of Mission, Texas, down in the Rio Grande Valley. 2 outs, both collected by number 22.
Maddox just continuing to be solid at shortstop. One of the things that to note for Maddox is that positioning is so important, just understanding what pitch is coming and being in the right spot for that, and just reading the ball off the bat. That is a high-level softball IQ skill, but the better you're able to see the ball off the bat, the better your first step will be, and again, just put you in the best position to make the play.
4-time All-Conference first team, 3-time All-American. They will have to battle back if they're going to have a chance for that national championship at the end of their collegiate career. Stockstill now at the plate, the junior from Picayune, Mississippi. Here in the postseason, batting .214, 3 hits and 14 at-bats. The Blazers in danger of going in order for the 3rd consecutive inning. Thus far, Melton having her way. Melton, in almost every at-bat, she has been able to get ahead in the count.
And for pitchers, that's so important. We talk so much about working ahead in the count, but you want to be able to throw your best pitch against the hitter instead of being forced to throw what you need to do in that count. By working ahead, you're able to continue to play around with the sequence, the spin, the speed. It gives you a lot more freedom, and you're in the driver's seat in those situations.
1-2 from Melton. Too far inside. Just off the white.
That's a tough pitch, curveball inside to the right-hander. But let's just talk about the framework behind the plate. Doing a great job of framing that, making the umpire think twice about that.
Underneath it, into right field. The bell comes in, and it's another 3 up, 3 down inning for the Blazers. ETBU's opportunity to find the opener. It'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Tigers. Bottom of the third. Tigers coming to bat, trying to find the first run of the ball game. Talk about it, two contrasting innings. The first 3 up, 3 down for Kennedy Caruth threw 3 pitches total. The second, she faced 5 batters, threw 35 pitches, 12 of those coming to the leadoff batter, Haley Stum, who ultimately collected a single to right field. Now we will see what Caruth has in store. Leadoff batter at the plate is Mary Frances Ellis. Ellis up for the first time, the junior from Wascom out of Elysian Fields, another local product here in East Texas. Here in the championship, 167 average, 1 hit, 6 at bats for Ellis. Tigers are able to get the leadoff batter aboard back in the second. Left 2 runners stranded. Can they take the next step and find the opening run here in the bottom of the third? Bunt laid down coming in from third. Gordon the throw. Not in time. That was a bang play at first. Ellis safely aboard.
And that's exactly what you want from the 9-hole, just being in a position to turn the lineup over. Ellis doing a great job of laying down that bunt and getting to first base in a hurry, turning the lineup over here in the bottom of the third.
Ellis does her job, and now here come the big bats. Shortstop Tristan Maddox stepping to the plate. 0 for 1, went down 5-3 in her first at bat. And we talk about the young talent on this team. Stum, Morales, Holland Bell, all freshmen, all contributing major minutes. Then you think about the seniors, Maddox, White, Cummings, Loya, Melton, really leading by example, particularly with so much talent lost from last year's team. They have really stepped up. Off to second, no throw, and easily in is Ellis.
Again, just any opportunities. One thing I want to talk about for base runners is that you're not just going base to base. You're looking for any opportunity, any ball that you see going down, any wild pitch, any opportunity that you can to get an advantage, to get yourself 60 more feet.
Runner in scoring position for Maddox. We will see what she's able to do in this situation. TBU just 9 for 54 here in the championship with runners aboard. They have left runners stranded, 2 already left on base, and something we've seen from really both of these teams, not taking full advantage, getting runners in scoring position. The fact that both of these matchups this week have been decided by a single run.
Absolutely, and when you have runners on base, your approach in the box is different. You're looking to move a runner, hit behind a runner, be aggressive in a different way, just more situational hitting and trying to move the ball to advance the runner.
Caruth, long look in. 2-2. Maddox sends that one into left center, base hit all the way to the wall. Tigers bringing the opening run across, and they will strike first. 1-0 ETBU. The RBI from the senior All-American shortstop Tristan Maddox.
Situational hitting at its best, timely hitting at its best, taking that pitch, that outside pitch, left center, staying down through the ball, head down, chest down, standing her legs, and I love to see her fired up as she makes it safely to second base.
Season on the line for the senior. She comes up with the first run of the ball game. Tigers fans are fired up, and that'll bring Kevin Griffin out to have a word with Caruth in his infield, assisted by Courtney Fairley and Bailey Winscott. We talk about the long tenure of these coaches, both over a decade in charge. And Courtney Fairley, the associate head coach, she's been there for 11 years. That is the kind of continuity, the consistency that leads to this kind of success.
Absolutely, just staying power. I love to see the staying power for coaches. staying in a program, staying consistent, and the longevity for the leaders spills over into the culture of your program.
Everybody wants to win now, but sometimes you have to be patient. When you are, good things will happen, as both of these programs clearly demonstrate. White offering at the first pitch. Tigers' second baseman went down 4-3 in her first at bat. ETBU striking first on the board here in the bottom of the third. White looking to switch places with Maddox at second.
I think what you said is so important just for young coaches starting their career. The staying power is so important, being consistent. Sometimes it takes a while to see the fruits of your labor as a coach as you're laying down pillars, your foundation. The longer you stay, the more you'll be able to see the outcome manifest itself. You were talking to some of the ETBU alumni and talking about how different things are from where they played, the field and just everything. But it takes time to build a program. We're not talking about 1 year, but a program year in and year out that is going to contend, which is what Janae Shirley has done here in Marshall. That is a process that you have to have patience with. But if you do, good things will happen, as is obviously the case here. And so much of building a program, it goes beyond softball. It's all the events that you do outside of that, staying consistent. That's the most important thing for coaches. What you're silent about is what you accept, and you have to make sure you speak up on the things that are important. 3-1 will trickle foul as White will have to come back. Now a full count. Maddox, the insurance run at second after her RBI to left center. Payoff pitch, fought off, and talking with some of these alums that were here, because again, Coach Shirley played in 2005 graduate, made the tournament in 2003 and 4, but a very different team than what she's been able to implement here across her 17 years in charge. Now, they have been a juggernaut these last few years. High into right, Knight, plenty of time to get underneath it. Maddox tags up, sliding safely in. Insurance 60 feet away for the Tigers. And I cannot say enough about how selfless these players are. It is not about them in that box. You can see she was just as excited to move her teammate from second to third as she was getting a hit for herself. Again, just doing what the game needs. Very selfless. Again, attributes to the culture that Coach Shirley has built. Right fielder Emma Bell at the plate. Bell flight out to left to end the first. That 1-2-3 inning for Caruth. Bell, the freshman from Eustis. Here in the championship, 429. That is third for the Tigers in their 4 games having been played in Marshall. 6 hits and 14 at-bats. As Kyami goes out to have a word with Caruth. Mentioned the very unique relationship. I don't know that there's anything in sports quite like that pitcher-catcher relationship. Maybe a center quarterback in football similar, but it's not the same. It's absolutely not. And there's times, as you can see, that it just needs to be pitcher and catcher. And that's exactly what Kyami is doing in that moment. Just, again, understanding that she saw something a little different from Caruth. Again, just understanding your pitcher and knowing what they need. And she called a timeout just to calm her down, to say what she needed to hear in that moment to get her back focused. Bell back in, awaiting the 1-0. Gets away from Kyami, sliding in, and safe at home is Maddox. 2-0 Tigers. It's a great heads-up play by Maddox. Again, when you are a base runner, you are an active participant in the game. You have to make sure that you are actively looking for opportunities to advance, and that's exactly what Maddox did. And you can see as she slides across home that she is fired up about it. Maddox doing a great job. Had the jump. Caruth came in, couldn't hold on to it. So the mistake, allowing the insurance run to score. As we said, Tiger season on the line.
best of 3 game series. They fell in game 1, 4-3. Have to win 2 today to collect what would be their second ever national championship. Off to a good start here. That being said, Belhaven, they got off to a 2-0 lead yesterday in game 1. Tigers were able to respond. A 3-run home run from Maddox in the 5th that had a brief lead, where Belhaven pushed 2 more across to ultimately hold on. Caruth, no trouble as Parker over to cover from second for the second out.
And we've talked so much about Caruth and how well she fields her position. Coming off, firing the ball over. Again, talking about the resiliency from moment to moment for these athletes, especially from the pitcher. Working hard to go right at these hitters, but also coming off the mound hard for defense.
2 away, Stum, the designated player. Took a 12-pitch at bat, single to right to lead off the second. We talk a lot about how teams reflect the personality of their coaches, but they also reflect the personality of their pitcher as well, and you see that with this Belhaven team. Caruth is so smooth, so calm, nothing really rattles her, and you can see that reflected particularly in her defense.
Absolutely. We talk about response and resilience, and for good reason, and that's what Caruth is able to do. Not breaking her routine, taking deep breaths. Talk about breathing. That is a tool that you need as an athlete to slow your breathing down, to slow everything down, to take a second. And that's exactly what she does. She gets back on the mound and she's ready to go.
You see when she gives up a hit or even a run, not a lot of emotion, doesn't show a whole lot. And the next batter, it's just back to work as business as usual. Does a very good job of compartmentalizing each and every batter, doesn't allow an at-bat to carry over to the next. A coach a long time ago said, don't get beat twice in one at-bat. I think Caruth typifies that very well. One and 2 now to Stum. The Tigers finding the opening runs, getting to Caruth here in the 3rd. Caruth trying to just keep it a 2-run game and get her Blazers back to the plate.
We talked earlier about for pitching, what your go-to pitches can change inning to inning. So you can see Caruth working a little bit more inside with that screwball. Before she was working with that curveball. She was struggling a little bit. That curveball was tailing a little bit too far off the plate. Just trying to stay consistent and mix it up.
That'll go through. Pass Stockstill at short. A 2-out single for Stum.
Stum taking advantage. These hitters are doing a great job staying in your legs. The more you're able to stay in your legs as a hitter, the more balanced you are, the least susceptible you are to anything off speed. And they're making that adjustment, making her throw more pitches.
Torrin Cummins in the 5-hole to the plate. Cummins struck out swinging, her only appearance here in the game against Kennedy Caruth. But remember, this is the 3rd game these two have seen each other in less than a week. This is the 3rd time the Tiger batters have seen Kennedy Caruth. They are making the adjustments. The only pitcher Belhaven has thrown here in the championship. They've gotten 2 good looks at her. Throw to first, not in time.
And it is hard from a pitcher to continue to look at sequences, look at how to attack hitters. But for hitters, constantly working on timing, constantly looking for your zone, your pitch, something to drive. It is definitely a back and forth with timing, momentum, and being consistent.
Good eye from Cummins outside, 2-1. Blazers trying to get out of this inning.
Get all the way, kid. Here we go.
Over to second, past the diving Parker. Cummins continues the 2-out rally, and Tigers now at 1st and 2nd.
That is such a huge at-bat for Cummins. Caruth has been challenging Cummings with that curveball on the outside part of the plate, and with power hitters love to drive the ball to the left side of the field. But just making that adjustment for Cummings, staying back in her back leg, keeping that front shoulder down, and driving that ball to the right side of the field. Sometimes less is more. That's a great at-bat for Cummings.
As good as she's been defensively, it's been a bit frustrating at the plate for the star senior third baseman. That's just her 4th hit in 15 at-bats here in the championship. As we will have a pinch runner at second for the Tigers. Another Pyle coming on. So Pyle, the sophomore from Hallsville, another local product. 120 feet away as Loya, the first baseman, digs in. Struck out swinging first time up to face Caruth. What changes can she make here in the second? Pyle at second. Cummings at first. Tigers, chance to really open things up if they can find another run or two here.
These Tigers are doing a great job of forcing Caruth to change her go-to. She has been challenging them middle out, but being more patient on the outside half of the plate. And again, it forces Caruth to go towards that screwball more.
Right back to Caruth. Stuck with it. Able to get the throw to first in time. But the Tigers are on the board. 2 runs in the bottom of the third. ATBU striking first. Blazers look to respond as they come up to bat in the 4th.
You can now access the official NCAA digital game program on your mobile device. Leading up here into Belhaven, number 1.
Tigers on the board. 2 runs in the bottom of the third. Now we'll see if the Blazers can respond as they come to bat in the top of the 4th. Through the first 3 innings, they have been sat down in order by Maddie Melton. The junior lefty from Hallsville thus far having her way with the Belhaven batters. Second time through the lineup. We'll see what they can do as they find themselves behind. Tigers backs against the wall, season on the line, doing what they needed to do. That is finding the opening runs as they are in a must-win situation. Have to win Game 2 to force us to a final and decisive Game 3 in the championship final. Back to Melton. First out.
It's a great job by Melton, just continuing her rhythm, going right at these hitters. And again, we have seen these pitchers doing so well defending their positions.
So Miller rounded out. Now we'll see what Gordon can do. Again, batting .500 in the championship is Allie Gordon, graduate student from Georgia. And the Blazers need a spark. We will see if number 10 can oblige them. This is who you want at the plate. Gordon underneath it, it'll stay, and no trouble for White, backtracking from second. Melton working quickly, and Caruth trying to keep the inning alive as the Blazers in danger of going in order yet again.
Let's go, Tigers!
Caruth through the left side, past the diving Cummings, and that is the first hit off of Melton. Caruth doing it in the circle and at the plate.
Her first time at the plate, Caruth stood more in the back of the batter's box. This time she was more up in front where she was yesterday. Just again, as hitters, something to note, you want to continue to make adjustments and moving around in the batter's box is a way in which you can do that, dependent on the sequence of pitching you got the time before. So just, again, another great job of Caruth making that adjustment.
Maddie Miller, the senior, Manville, Louisiana, now the pinch runner. As the first baseman, Ellie Jones, steps to the plate, representing the tying run. Jones went down 5-3 to lead off the second. But the way Melton is pitching, chances very few and far between, as Caruth picking up just the first hit off of the star junior for the Tigers. TBU already 6 hits. They've already left 4 runners on base.
Melton again challenging these right-handers with that curveball on the inside. One thing I've noticed with the hitters, they're stepping away off the plate a little bit to give themselves more room for that inside pitch.
Cummings off the hop. No trouble as the Blazers pick up their first hit, leave their first runner stranded, but cannot respond. Tigers trying to extend the 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, pitching change for Belhaven. Now pitching for the Blazers, number 17, Macy Funderburk.
Change in the circle for the Blazers. Macy Funderburk, the 5'4" freshman righty out of West Monroe, Louisiana, will be in the circle. 6-0 this season, 42 thirds innings pitched, a .34 ERA. Batters hitting just 149 against Funderburk. And for as much as we talk about Kennedy Caruth, and for good reason, Funderburk, a star, is the freshman. Worked her way into number 2 in the role this season. She has been a great 1-2 punch alongside Caruth. So Kennedy Caruth, through the first 4 innings, through the first 3, giving up 2 runs on 6 hits. And now Funderburk in the circle. We will see what the talented freshman has in store. Bottom of the order, Morales, Melton, and Francis up to face her. Left fielder Bella Morales leading things off, already 1 for 1, a bunt single. Now what can she do against Funderburk? And coach, no one in the championship has seen any pitcher except for Kennedy Caruth. So a wrinkle coming here from Kevin Griffin as he brings out Funderburk, a totally new pitcher, to this ETBU side. One gets through off the hands. Parker, I don't think she got a good beat on it at second. Morales is safely aboard with a leadoff single.
And it makes it so challenging for hitters. You have to make sure that you are ready. And that's exactly what Morales did, challenging her on the inside part. She just gets through, jams her up a little bit, but enough to get through the middle and being the leadoff in this inning.
So the leadoff batter is aboard. The 3rd consecutive inning the Tigers have been able to do it. Throw to first gets away from Parker. But no, they're going to say a dead ball, and Coach Shirley out, and she is less than pleased, wants an explanation. It appeared that it came off her right foot. We will see if we can get another look at it. You can see Melton there at first. pleading her case as now our crew comes together, and you'd imagine they will be a review of this. Again, John Schaefer at home plate, Linda Long at first, Tracy Golding as our third base umpire. They continue to confer here on the call. The question is, did it touch it coming out of the box as Melton would be out? We'll see if we can get another look at it. We'll get a look if they're going to do this. Here it is.
You can see right there.
I think it caught the inside of her right foot. Difficult to tell for sure.
Just enough on that right foot. Looks like it hit the inside part enough to change the direction of the ball. Maybe right there.
Yeah, there it is. You can see the change of direction you mentioned. Melton hoping she will be able to stay at first as Coach Griffin out wants a word as well.
It's another big call that can dictate the momentum for the Tigers offensively.
For a game like this, ETBU leading 2-0. Trying to find as much insurance as they can. Yeah, huge call, and give credit to our umpires. They've done a fantastic job. We mentioned the best teams in the country, the best umpires as well. They are selected here based on merit and what they've done throughout the season. We really do have the best umpires, the best crews, and they've done fantastic jobs almost down to a play. They've made the right decisions when they review calls. They've come out to be correct. And they will, you would imagine, review this as well.
Things unfold so quickly for the sport of softball, but they take the time to make sure they get it right.
Season on the line, national championship at stake. Have to get the calls right, and they are doing just that. We're going to get you 3 different views of it.
You can see right there on her right foot, maybe just nicked it just a little bit. It's hard to tell on that angle. Looking for the change of direction in the ball.
And I think this third angle, that was the first one you saw where it comes down the line and you can really see this change of direction when it appears that her foot does indeed right there make contact with the ball.
That is no doubt the best angle, and it looks to us, in our expert opinion, it looks as though her right foot hit it just on the inside of her foot, change the direction of the ball.
And the importance of getting every call correct. We know it's at stake. We started on Thursday, way back in the month of May, Coach, with 8 teams. Now we are into June. We've actually, we rung in the month of June here at the ballpark. We're playing softball. That's how we went from May to June. Not the way we drew it up, but got the games in due to the weather we mentioned, the delays on Thursday. Ended up playing 6 games on Friday. We've enjoyed each and every minute of it.
And with those weather delays, just the mental fatigue these athletes have to endure through gearing up ready to play, then stepping off the field again, just the back and forth. Not only for the pitchers, but for everyone to stay ready to go.
And that was actually ETBU who had to go through that. They were scheduled to play Rowan in that first game here, the championship, and we got the first 2 games in. They were going to come out. Well, then we had lightning in the vicinity, and if that wasn't enough, then we had a tornado warning. Then we had another. Just a mix of everything we saw. Here's what John Schaefer has to say upon review.
The call on the field is that the batter runner is out due to the ball hitting her in the field of play. Upon confirming with Pittsburgh that play is reviewable, and the call on the field has been upheld due to the ball hitting the batter in the field of play.
So they weren't sure, I was told, if the play was reviewable. It was, and the call on the field that Melton was out is indeed upheld. So the first out of the inning, Melton heads back to the dugout. Morales back to first.
And you can see here the ball just nicked her right foot as she's sprinting down first base. Again, it's a good call, making sure they got it right.
They did indeed. We head to the bottom of the order. Mary Frances Ellis, the center fielder, already 1 for 1, a bunt single, and stole a base in her first at bat. Over to short. Not in time. Ellis is safe. What a job from Ellis. Lightning out of the batter's box safely at first.
It's a great job by Ellis just putting ball in play. And with her speed, it makes it hard for defenders. If you're a shortstop, you have to make sure you're playing up in the line to field and throw. That was a play that maybe would have been better served with a throw on the run with her speed. When you sit back in the pocket, it makes it hard to get that out.
Ellis absolutely blazing down the first baseline. The junior from Legion Fields is safe at first, and now Insurance in scoring position for the Tigers. 1 out, 2 aboard here in the bottom of the 4th. Back to the top of the order with Tristan Maddox. Maddox 1 for 2. A big RBI to left in her last at bat. That was the opener, part of that 2-run 3rd inning. First time facing Funderburg, freshman from West Monroe, Louisiana. Maddox down in an 0-2 hole. An important inning for the Blazers is Tigers with 2 on, and they need to keep this a 2-run deficit if at all possible. As Maddox looks to change that into left, they will bring the run home. Pyle sliding safely across was Morales, and it is 3-0 Tigers. The All-American senior Maddox just continues to put on a show at the plate.
She does a great job taking that outside pitch to the left part of the field. Again, just having another great at-bat, just understanding how important these at-bats are and finding a good pitch.
Season on the line, and Tristan Maddox doing everything she can. She's accounted for 2 of the Tigers' 3 runs here in the ball game thus far. Courtney White now to the plate. Still 2 aboard and just 1 out for White. Ellis, plenty of speed there at second. If she sends anything out, Ellis definitely a threat to score from second.
As a runner on second, again, you just want to make sure that your lead is big enough to where a ball up the middle, you are in the best position to score. And as you mentioned, with speed, it helps. But you want to push that lead. You want to be in the best position. And as soon as that ball leaves the bat, your mindset as the runner is to get 2 bases.
Good eye from White. Count evens 2-2. Off the end of the bat, right over to Gordon. Tried to double up as Maddox able to get back to first in the nick of time.
That's a great heads-up defensive play by Gordon. With lefty hitters, their ball tails away from the defender. So just understanding that tail, taking it that way and heads up. Looking to throw back to first to get her out.
Funderburg giving up the first run here in the fourth. She came in to start the inning, replacing Kennedy Caruth. Thus far, has given up 3 hits and a run. Emma Bell, the right fielder. A 1-1 count, still 2 on for the Tigers. Bell looking for her first hit, right back to Funderburg to end the inning. Tigers leave 2 stranded, but are able to add a run, 3-0, as we head to the 5th. ETBU on top.
And remember, if you plan on playing college sports, please visit NCAA.
We started with 8 on Thursday. A little less than a week later, we are down to 2. The Tigers of ETBU, the Blazers of Belhaven. National championship final between these 2 former conference foes. This is the 27th all-time meeting. ETBU leads the all-time series, 15 wins, 11 losses. That being said, Belhaven has won 8 of the last 10, including yesterday's Game 1 in the championship final. They took it 4-3. Putting the Tigers up against the wall, a must-win game here, and they are doing everything they can to send it to a decisive winner-take-all Game 3 coming up later today. Richardson, Parker, Kayami, 5, 6, and 7 up for the Blazers. Thus far, just a single hit off of Melton. The junior from Hallsville has been outstanding. Struck out 2, giving up the 1 hit, no runs. Part of that very impressive staff that Coach Shirley has here. Melton, Holland, Benavidez, all throwing some great work in the circle this year. A leadoff walk for Richardson. That is exactly what you need if you're a Belhaven fan. Richardson continues to get aboard some way, somehow, setting the table now for the second baseman, Parker.
Richardson is no doubt the fire starter for this offense. Again, I cannot speak enough just about how selfless she is, excited about a walk, understanding how important a good at-bat is at this point in the season.
Well, the pinch runner, Jordan Knipe, the right fielder, junior from Knoxville, Tennessee, now at first. Parker up to bat after getting a few words from her head coach, Kevin Griffin. A big inning here in the top of the 5th. Belhaven is going to battle back in Game 2 of this series. They cannot allow this one to go any further, cannot allow the deficit to stretch. But again, they have not been able to find anything off of Melton. Maddie Melton has come out with her best stuff today under the biggest stage, and she has certainly brought it. Two and 0.
I spoke earlier about the adjustments these hitters are making, with Melton challenging them on the inside part of the plate. These hitters are backing off the plate, allowing them more time to get their hands through on the inside half. But one of the things to note, with a pitcher like Melton, who spins the ball so well, the more you allow the ball to travel, the more it gets in on your hands. So you have to make sure you're continuing to hit out in front so he can drive that ball to the left side of the field.
A quick word out with Melton, and now back to the dugout again. Nate Shirley, the head coach here on the ETBU staff. Bill Galloway, Guy Shirley, Jeanette Galvan, and Hannah Garcia round out the staff here in Marshall. 2-1 to Parker. Fans got here early. The atmosphere has been electric. That being said, we had another weather delay. We were originally scheduled to get this game underway at 11 a.m. Central Time, but more rain this morning, so we pushed it till later into left field and into the glove of Bella Morales. Very nicely done from the Tigers left fielder.
And that's a great read from Morales. She's playing deep. That ball not hit as sharp, but having good speed. Speed helps for an outfielder, but having a good read also. It's a great job coming in, making that catch.
A freshman from Richmond, Texas. Read that one well off the barrel of the bat for the first out. Now the Blazers catcher Anna Kayemi up to bat. Kayemi 0 for 1. Grounded out to short to lead off the third. Kayemi with a 2-0 advantage here in the at-bat. Tying a run in the form of Mary Moore Weidmeyer waiting on deck. Melton, as we've seen from the very first pitch, not wasting any time. When she gets it back, moves very quickly. Over to third, past the diving Cummings. And now the tying run coming to the plate. Blazers bench on its feet.
And that's a good at-bat from Kayemi. I mentioned earlier about the adjustments these hitters are making, staying off the plate, which allows them more time to get their hands through on that inside curveball. Again, this is a game of adjustments, and they're doing a great job making those adjustments late in the game.
Mary Moore Weidmeyer, the left fielder, 0 for 1, having grounded out to short. Takes this one past short. They will wave the run around. The throw, not in time, on to third, safe. Blazers are on the board and the tying a run in scoring position for Belhaven.
We've talked so much about momentum. Just, again, it starts with having a good at-bat, having a good game plan, and timely hitting. Just a great job taking that inside pitch right back up the middle. These hitters are making adjustments and timely hitting.
Mary Moore Weidmeyer, the junior from Hattiesburg, with the RBI through the left side, as we've seen balls in the inning get by Cummings and Maddox. It is rare that happens. Sarah Stockstill, the shortstop, representing the bottom of the order. Tying a run 120 feet away for the Blazers. The second time through the order, starting to make the adjustments, and they've come up with the hits and the first run off of Melton. Stockstill into center. Ellis there, not electing to tag up, a wise decision as Ellis came up with an absolute bullet to home.
Ellis again, just a great read on a rising line drive, but coming in and making that play. She would have been ready if that runner attempted to go home.
Miami at third, Weidmeyer at second, back to the top of the order with Miller at the plate. 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts for the Blazers center fielder. The Blazers bats have woken up. It has taken 5 innings, but they are on the board, cutting it to a 2-run game. Miller behind 0-2. For Melton, the importance of coming back, picking up this out. keeping it a 2-run game.
Let's go, Maddie! Let's go, Nelson! Woo!
1-2, fouled off by Miller.
I love this sequence from Milton. Again, pitchers stay in the driver's seat when they work ahead in the count, spinning that ball middle outside part of the plate and down in the zone. It makes it hard to hit.
Milton, long look in. Did not swing. Tigers fans unhappy with that call. The appeal to the third base umpire, Tracy Golding. Another look.
Hands low in the zone. You can see she's trying to hold back, but I don't know. That was a close one. And they are not happy about that call.
Not by a long stretch. 2 away, 2 aboard, 2-2. Now a full count. Arguably the biggest pitch of the ball game coming up here. Miller down the first base line. Loya is there. The Blazers on the board. And they played their first run, cutting it to a 2-run game. 3-1 Tigers with Blazers on the board as they were able to break through a run in the top of the inning. That's a 2-run ball game. ETBU looking to extend their lead. They come up here in the bottom. 4, 5, and 6. Stum, Cummings, and Loya up to bat. Trying to find a little insurance. A must-win game for ETBU. Tigers, after dropping game 1 of this best-of-3 game series yesterday, have to win this to push it to a decisive and final winner-take-all game 3. They look to bring home their second national championship. Off the hands and backtracking Parker from second with the first out.
And that's a good pitch. I love that she's challenging these power hitters on the inside part of the plate. Oftentimes pitchers like to shy away from throwing inside to power hitters. But if you can get that pitch to move up and in on their hands, it makes it hard for them to square up on it.
Third baseman Torrin Cummins at the plate. 1 for 2. Singled her last time up. Waste no time jumping on that first pitch. A huge inning for Funderburk as, again, she replaced Caruth. Funderburk trying to get this 1-2-3 inning. That would be a optimal sequence, obviously. So to keep the momentum going. Loya waiting on deck. Cummings chased it outside. Pretty pitch for strike 2 from Funderburk.
Adjustment for Cummings again. She's getting challenged on the outside half of the plate. She stays in her legs well, but has a tendency to lead with that front side, which pulls her off of the outside pitch. An adjustment to make here is keep the front shoulder down and drive through the center of the ball.
Again, trying to get her to chase outside.
And as a pitcher, every movement the batter makes is information for you. Seeing what they do the pitch before sets up the next pitch. You're always looking for that movement.
Full count now to Cummings. Yeah, the atmosphere here amazing. Pretty much every seat spoken for. Fans out in the outfield as well. It is standing room only here. Beautiful Bell Park at Taylor Field. Cummings takes the payoff. Parker there. 2 up, 2 down.
And we talked about this screw ball on the inside half of the plate. The more that ball moves, the longer the ball travels, the more movement it has. And for hitters, it's oftentimes hard for them to get inside the ball and drive it to the left side of the field.
Tigers first baseman Del Loya at the plate. ETBU in danger of going in order, something they have not done since the first inning. And we said it, your Funderburg, 1-2-3 inning, keeps that momentum for your bats. Belhaven trying to mount the comeback here. Loya 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
For hitters, it's so important to have a plan when you get in the box. But breaking that down a little bit more, having a plan, you have to understand what side of the plate you're going to attack.
Good eye from Loya. Finds herself in the count 3-0 and knows that Funderburg wants to go outside. She has not been tempted, or if she has, she's been able to restrain herself. Ball 4, Loya draws the 2-out walk on 4 pitches.
Another great at-bat. Talking about a plan, just understanding what side of the plate you're going to attack. It's so hard for hitters to look for everything, inside, outside, high, low. Unless you have 2 strikes, you want to have a specific side of the plate you're looking to attack. It makes that zone a little bit more manageable.
We're going to see a pinch runner at first for Loya with Bella Morales, left fielder, coming to the plate. Morales, 2 for 2. Looking to continue the hot hitting. As Hannah A. Kelly comes on, the sophomore out of Grapevine up in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. See Morales keep the inning alive. Go 3 for 3. Takes for strike 1. Does the freshman, hitting .408. Seen action in 42 games this year. Started 19. Another Greater Houston area product. Runner takes off. The throw came late and easily in is Kelly. So Insurance now in scoring position for the Tigers. They look to go back ahead by 3.
It's a great job. Again, always looking for opportunities to advance. Base hit up the middle, looking to push 2 bases.
Right back off the glove, comes in from short, can't make a play. And coming in is Kelly, the throw late. What a base running job from Hannah A. Kelly. Belhaven late to recognize, and the Tigers make them pay. 4-1 ETBU.
And that's the exact mentality you need to have on the bases, especially with 2 outs. As soon as you see the down angle on the ball, on the ground, you want to look to push 2 bases.
Coach, I was just about to say before that bat, this is ETBU softball under Janae Shirley. This is what they do. They will push things on the base pass, take some risk. And Kelly proving that point perfectly.
And you're exactly right. And the defense knows that. And the more you put pressure offensively, the more the defense is on their heels. They know they have to move fast. They know they have to think fast. And that's what you want to do.
Runner takes off again to second. And safely by the tag. And Morales got a good jump. Came over with Stockstill, but I don't think she got the tag on in time.
That's a great slide. Good jump, great slide. Avoiding the tag, slide into the outside half of the bag. Makes it harder for defender to put the tag on.
Morales now in scoring position with her pitcher Melton at the plate. A 3-0 count. That'll send Kaimi out for a word with the freshman out of West Monroe, Louisiana, Macy Funderburg. With the way ETBU attacks on the base pass, you cannot take a pitch off, because the one that you lose a little focus on, that's the one they're going to make you pay.
Absolutely. And again, I talked earlier about the lead you have to have at second base. You want to have a good understanding of where the shortstop is. Also be mindful of the second baseman in case there's a back pick. But you want to be in a position to where if that ball gets down, you can look to score too.
Melton taking the whole way. Now 3 balls, 1 strike. Off the hands, full count to Melton. ATBU doing all this with, yes, you guessed it, 2 outs.
Something about that 2-out magic.
It's been a theme throughout the championship. To left field. Goodbye. 2-run home run from Maddie Melton, the Tigers pitcher, doing it at the plate, putting ETBU ahead 6-1 in the bottom of the 5th.
We talk about making adjustments, and that's exactly what she did, taking that screwball, hitting it hard, and that is a no-doubter and all smiles, as she should be, coming across home plate. Melton
shows off the power there. We talk about helping your own cause. That is the definition of it. Melton with her 4th home run of the season, but I would hazard a guess, none bigger than that one right there. As Coach Griffin comes out, a word with his freshman, and there may be another change in the circle. They started with Caruth. Funderburg took over. Now it appears that Belhaven is going to make yet another change. We'll have the new pitcher for the Blazers after this. New pitcher for the Blazers. It'll be Bell West, the 5'7" junior righty out of Byron, Mississippi. On the season, West, a 3.03 ERA, record of 5-0, 39 and a third innings pitched. He's given up 44 hits, 18 runs, 17 earned. Struck out 39, walking 5. Batters averaging 273 against West. Over to short. Throw pulling the first baseman off the bag. And the Tigers continue to pour it on here. Ellis safe at first.
It's a great piece of hitting there through the 5-6 hole with speed. It makes it so hard for the shortstop to get that out, have to play back.
Ellis, the star junior outfielder from Legion Fields, now 3 for 3 in the ball game, and back to the top of the order with Maddox. Maddox, another impressive performance at the plate. 2 for 3, 2 runs batted in for the All-American shortstop. Tigers have found insurance, but they are not letting up, nor would you imagine they would. Ellis safely into second, another stolen base.
And I love this mentality for the Tigers. Again, being a base runner is just as important and active. You have to think as a base runner as well. Again, always looking for opportunities, ball down in the dirt, to advance 60 feet.
Maddox takes the 1-1 into deep center. Home run, Tristan Maddox. The 2-run bomb for Maddox, the All-American. Makes it 8-1 Tigers. 2 home runs in the inning for ETBU.
It is so fun watching her at the plate. She does a great job just, again, understanding what zone she's going to attack, driving the ball hard to the opposite side of the field, and so much excitement and momentum. Love to see all smiles as she crosses the plate.
Season on the line for the senior All-American. Does not want things to end without a national championship trophy in her hands, and she is doing everything she can to make that a reality. ETBU backs against the wall in this one. Has a ETBU single season record with 17 home runs, does the All-American shortstop. What a final season she is having here in Marshall. You talk about doing everything in your senior season right. The only thing left is that ring. And if ETBU is able to hold on to take this game, it will send us to a decisive and final winner-take-all Game 3 with these two. The title on the line. Can't ask for a whole lot more, Coach.
Absolutely. It's so fun watching these teams compete. All the emotion, all the energy, making plays, timely hitting. That's what it's all about.
3-0. White draws the walk on 4 pitches, and the inning continues for the Tigers.
Now stepping up to the plate for the Tigers, number 1, Emma.
The West, who's come on, facing 2 batters in Ellis, Maddox, and then White, has yet to record an out. Bell comes to the plate, does the right fielder for ETBU.
You can see Kayami just ready. She knows these runners will take off in any count.
Bell at the plate, 0 for 3. Freshman from Eustis looking for her first hit of the ball game, but her teammates, what an impressive bounce back display. Backs against the wall this has been for ETBU. Watches it outside, off to second goes White, and safely in, another stolen base.
And hats off to ETBU. We've been talking so much about how teams respond. Coming off a tough loss yesterday, but coming back with an understanding that they're going to do everything that they can. Very selfless, do what the game needs, everyone together.
It wasn't just a loss, it was their first loss of the season here at home. They had not lost here at Bell Park at Taylor Field. They'd won 23 games in a row going into yesterday's loss. You never know how a team is going to respond after a loss of that magnitude in Game 1 of the National Championship Final. But they have responded with an exclamation mark here today as Bell draws the walk, bringing Stum to the plate. She led off the inning. The Tigers have batted through the order here in the bottom of the 5th.
And that response has a lot to do with the culture. Again, we talk so much when the players lead from within and they decide that they're going to do something different as a team. That's special. That's culture. That's a standard of excellence.
Led by those seniors, Maddox, White, Cummings, Loya, Melton, and these new additions that have been so impressive step foot on campus here in Marshall. They understand from day one where the bar is. It is very high, and they are not going to lower it a centimeter. You're going to have to raise to meet it, and the reason that they've had the success they had both on and off the field. Stump over to third. Gordon is there, puts a foot on the bag to end the inning. But 5 runs plated by the Tigers. They take an 8-1 lead into the 6th. A pair of home runs. Maddox got things started. Melton able to follow up with one of her own. Tigers with 5 runs in the 5th to take an 8-1 lead in this must-win Game 2 in the championship final after dropping Game 1 yesterday 4-3 to these Blazers. What a response from ETBU. And if they are able to hold on for the victory, we will have a winner-take-all Game 3 with a national championship trophy at stake coming up later today. Glad to have you with us on NCAA.com. Alongside the Hall of Famer, Dr. Ian McMichael, I'm Kit McConico. It's been a great week of action. Big thanks to our entire crew, everyone here at ETBU. The hours have been long, but we have enjoyed it. Hope you have as well, wherever you've been joining us from. Gordon, Caruth, Jones, 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Blazers.
One thing I love watching is just the energy in the dugout. The dugout culture is something that is very intentional. The way you talk.
Gordon into right center, a base hit will go to the wall. Gordon easily into second, a stand-up double, trying to rally Belhaven.
Gordon stays hot, seeing the ball really well. Again, staying back in her back leg, driving that ball to the right side. She is staying hot, seeing the ball very well. Again, just swinging at good pitches.
Gordon came into this game hitting .500. That is best of any player in the championship. And that's just her first hit of the ball game. So here in the 3-hole, it will be the pitcher coming to the plate in the form of Bell West, junior righty from Mississippi.
To my point earlier, we were talking about the environment and the culture in the dugout. It's very intentional, and it holds space for the ups and downs of the game. The way teammates communicate and interact with each other is very important. And I like to see how these dugouts react as the game unfolds.
One and 2 to West. They started with Caruth. Thunderbird came in briefly. Now West in the circle for Belhaven. Trying to find something. Trailing by 7. Over to Cummings at third. A look to the runner before the throw across for out number 1.
Such a smart heads-up play by Cummings again. Cutting off that ball from the shortstop, looking the runner back at second, and understanding that she has time. The faster the ball gets to you as a defender, the more time you have to make decisions. Just a heads-up play.
First baseman Ellie Jones at the plate. Blazers down to their final 5 outs, trying to mount the comeback. You talk about a swing in momentum after the victory last night. If ETBU is able to come back and take Game 2 and doing so in emphatic fashion, he'll certainly take that momentum into the Game 3. Away from the catcher, on to third. And safely in is Gordon.
I cannot express enough just how important it is for base running. Oftentimes base running is a skill that's not practiced as much, but you definitely have to be a thinker on the bases and understand angles and seeing the ball down. Any opportunity you have to advance is what you need to be thinking about while you're on the bases.
Brady Glenn, the junior from Bel Air in Houston, behind the plate, and this one for the Tigers. Three and 1 now, the count to Jones. After that big 5-run inning, it is a deflated Blazers dugout. Talk about dugout culture. They are one of the more livelier dugouts we've seen here of the 8 teams in the championship. But right now, it is very quiet as they're trying to rally and find some of that energy that they've had for the majority of this week.
Something else to point out too, speaking of dugout culture, understanding what your teammates need in each moment is also important. Words matter. There's some teammates that need more of a pep talk than others.
Jones able to work the count full, draws the walk. And it brings the designated player, Katie Jo Richardson, up to bat. Runners on the corners and 1 out. I think it's a great point. We've spoken about that. As far as a catcher going out, you need to understand your pitcher is going to need different things from you at different times in the game. But dugout's the same. It's not always the, hey, we've got to get up, got to get some energy. Sometimes you just need to understand what is called for at a specific moment. That's a difficult thing to do. It takes experience.
It does, and all of those moments off the field matter. When you get in situations like this, like you said, there's teammates that need more of a pep talk. There's teammates that need some space. But just meeting them where they are in moments such as these, those are the little moments that are so important.
Richardson 0 for 1, having struck out and drawn a walk and 2 at-bats now at the plate.
I know as coaches, oftentimes we like to get busy with the X's and O's, but you have to create space within your program for culture building moments so players can get to know each other.
1-1 to Richardson. Big at bat here for Belhaven if they're going to find a way to battle back in this game. I would imagine Richardson will have a role to play in it. We talk about that culture building, the identity. It goes back to our previous point. That's not something you can do in a season or even 2. It takes time to build that program, that identity and culture. Both of these coaches have been able to do that, having been at their respective universities for over a decade now.
Absolutely, and I'll be the first to say when I first started out coaching, that was not something that I deemed important. But I have come to learn and understand that those are the moments that matter the most. The more they know each other, the more they know things about each other, the better they play.
Richardson over to Cummings. Cummings to throw to first. They will concede the run to Gordon as it is a 6-run game. Belhaven bringing Gordon across for their second. Natalie Parker, the second baseman, to the plate now. Jones, the lone base runner at second. Parker 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. That energy still lacking for the Blazers. Just trying to find a bit of it here. Maddox. 6-3 to end the inning. Blazers pull one back, but still trail by 6. ETBU coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th. A great atmosphere here today and all week at Bell Park at Taylor Field, the campus of ETBU in Marshall, Texas. Big thanks to all the fans that have joined us. Behind home plate, it is pretty much standing room only, as is the case out in left field, right field, the berm in center. Get a great look of it there, and just can't say enough about the atmosphere here at the ballpark. It has really been great all week. We've dealt with inclement weather. That has not put a damper on the fans. They've been out here rain or shine.
Absolutely, and support matters. Players on the field, when they feel that fan support, and it is electric. They get excited about everything, and it has been up and down. But these fans, they're here cheering them on every step of the way.
They've been one of the constants. You talk about the momentum, the ups, the downs. The fans have been here no matter what, cheering their respective teams on. We've had fans from all across the country. Linfield from McMinnville, Oregon, the 1 seed. They brought fans down from the Pacific Northwest. Rowan, the 7 seed from Glassboro, New Jersey, bringing fans as well. Tufts from Medford, Massachusetts. Every team that was here this week bringing a large cheering section. I've really enjoyed getting to know their fans and each team. But we are down to the final 2. These 2 former conference foes, they know each other. Cummings, Loya, Morales, 5, 6, and 7, trying to find some insurance. They may not need it with a 6-run lead. Back in the circle is West, the junior righty from Mississippi. Trying to pick up these final few outs. It has proven difficult thus far. Coach, you've spoken about it, but it bears repeating. What a response from the Tigers. They had lost 4 in a row to Belhaven before these 2 teams met back on Friday. They won that game 3-2. Then falling last night, first game of the final, yesterday I should say. But they have come back today with a vengeance.
Absolutely, and a response is intentional. It's intentional that these players reflected on what they need to do different for the next day, and they put their minds to it, and we're seeing it being played out here. But a response is very intentional. Again, we continue to speak just about the culture and the mindset of just coming back and wanting to be better, and that's exactly what we're seeing today.
Faced adversity yesterday. They've responded today. Cummings into right field. And the first out of the inning made.
Now batting, number 21, Del Loya.
Brings up the catcher, Del Loya. Loya 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. Loya's first time facing Bell West. With all the inclement weather this week, we finally have some clear skies and the sun is out. It's warming up quickly. But we'll take a temperature in the 80s, and for June in Texas, that's a win.
You can see a little bit of frustration here from the pitcher. She's trying to paint the inside corner with that screwball. As pitchers, you have to adhere to the strike zone of the umpire. And it's all about adjustments, just understanding where that pitch needs to be to get that call.
Catches the corner there, 2-1 now to Loya. Maybe a bit of frustration there on the part of the junior. West has been thrown into a difficult situation.
And also just understanding, again, where the umpire likes the zone. Where does he typically call? And have that conversation with your catcher going out and having a game plan, making that adjustment to spin the ball and get the call to the zone that he likes.
Full count now. Tigers first baseman Del Loya. Tigers slow start, but found 2 runs in the 3rd, another in the 4th, and then exploded for 5 in the 5th. Loya draws the walk. Another Tiger aboard. Morales, the left fielder, back to the plate. Morales 3 for 3, an RBI. Morales has been on fire in this one.
We talked earlier about the fan support and had the opportunity to talk to younger softball players. And one of them was a pitcher, and I asked her what she was looking forward to the most, and she talked about just how to overcome tough innings. And to that, I would say, as the pressure rises, you have to get really good at utilizing the resources that you have in what I call your toolbox. And that could be slowing things down, that could be breathing, that could be having conversations with your teammates. But as the pressure rises, you want to make sure that you have tools to use to make yourself better in those moments.
Here we go, Bella.
1-1, Morales sends it out of play. You and I have spoken about this a lot this week. It's what you do when things aren't going your way. It's easy to have your head up and easy to play, continue, but when things are going well, but when they're not, when you're down, when you're losing games, when you're not getting hits, making mistakes, how do you respond? And these players have done a very good job, unable to turn the double play. They will get the lead runner. Moya out at second. I think we've seen some great examples from all the teams here in the championship for the young athletes that have been watching them all week long. And not just what they do on the diamond, but how they conduct themselves off the field, in the dugout. They've been such great ambassadors of the sport and of Division III athletics, signing autographs, taking pictures, really spending time with these young athletes who obviously look up to them and hope one day to be in their position.
And also for them to understand that there's not a level that you can play at where you escape pressure. These athletes just handle hard times better. Again, just utilizing what they need. And for each player, it's different. It could be, like I said, a deep breath. It could be a conversation with a teammate. It could be taking some time walking to the end of the dugout. But whatever you need, the better you understand what you need, the quicker you're able to respond.
Tigers pitcher Melton at the plate. 1 for 3, a 2 RBI, 2-run home run the last time up for Melton. 0-2. Into center. And the catch made to end the inning. Tigers unable to find insurance. And now Blazers coming up for the final time in the ball game, trailing by 6. Or will we be headed to a winner-take-all Game 3 with the national championship on the line? Welcome back. Top of the 7th here in Marshall. Beautiful campus of East Texas Baptist University. As the Tigers have battled back here in Game 2. Backs against the wall, a must-win. And they've come out 2 runs into the 3rd, another in the 4th, that 5-run 5th inning, giving them this big lead. And they are now 3 outs away from sending us to a Game 3 winner-take-all for the Division III National Championship. Belhaven and ETBU here in the Lone Star State. Bottom of the order, due up. The right fielder, Landreau, leading things off. Riley Landreau, the junior out of New Orleans, Mount Carmel High School product. Her first at bat of the ball game. Landreau on the season, .222 average. Seen action in 15 games. This is just her 10th at bat of the season. Melton trying to pick up these final 3 outs and ride the momentum of this big game, impressive performance into Game 3. Tigers looking for a 2nd national championship ever in softball. Won their first in 2010. Belhaven, their first trip here to the championship. Looking for a title to go with it. Landreau down to swinging. 2 outs for the Blazers.
Again, just a good mix, just understanding. We talked earlier about every time the hitter moves, it's information for the pitcher. Melton doing a good job of making that ball move through the zone to get that hitter to pull out.
A pinch hitter in the 8-hole in place of the left fielder, Marymore Weidmeyer. It'll be Colby Hollinger, the junior from Alabama, coming to the plate. Hollinger so impressive here in the championship as a pinch hitter. Hollinger 2 at-bats has drawn 2 walks. Very difficult out for opposing pitchers.
One thing to note defensively with left-handed hitters, when the ball is in the air, it tails away from the defender. So you want to make sure you have that communication and understanding as you're chasing the ball down in the gaps. You want to keep pushing in that direction. The closer you get to the ball, the more it tails away from you.
Outside 3-1 to Hollinger, looking for another walk.
Go, Tiger!
Hollinger over to second. Knocked down. White unable to get it to first in time. So Hollinger safely at first. First base hit of the championship.
That's a great at-bat from Hollinger, looking to drive that ball hard to the right side of the field, getting it down on the ground. Anytime you can put the ball in play, anything can happen. Just want to make sure you're swinging at good pitches, have a good game plan. You can't control the outcome.
That'll be a pinch runner for Hollinger at first. Carly Fudge, the junior from Zachary, Louisiana. Now coming up to the bottom of the order. Just a few words there from Glenn to Melton. Tigers 2 outs away from taking this win in Game 2 and sending us to the decisive winner-take-all Game 3. Madeline Bullock, sophomore from Rayne, Louisiana, at the plate. Bullock 364 average on the season. Quick 2-0 count to Bullock. Time called. We'll have a quick chat with Melton. Again, if the Tigers are able to hold on, we will have the third and final game here in Marshall. The national championship on the line. Well, what a week of action it has been. We've seen just about everything. And you couldn't script this week without having it come down to a Game 3. We knew it wasn't going to happen in 2, and that has proven to be prophetic.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to talk about with hitting is hard. And when you're dealing with all of the timing, all of the spin, you have to think about how you look at your at-bats. You want to have good at-bats, good pitches. That's what you want to look at, not the outcome. You can't be focused on the outcome. You have to focus in more on the process. Did you have a good mindset? Did you swing at good pitches? That's what you want to judge.
Bullock takes and count now 2-1. Underneath it, over into foul territory. Bell there for the second out. Now the Blazers down to their final out of the ball game.
It's a big out by Melton, settling down, getting some words of advice from our pitching coach, just focusing back in, staying calm, trusting in the process. Again, just a big out.
Taylor Heaton The junior righty, Saraland, Alabama, Coastal Alabama South Community College product. At the plate. Just trying to pick up this final out. Hitting .333 average. Over to first. And the tag applied to end it. So we will head to a Game 3 winner-take-all here in the Lone Star State. Belhaven took Game 1 yesterday. Tigers battle back to take Game 2 today. Who will take the 2024 NCAA Softball Division III National Championship Trophy? We will know. Stick with us. Game 3 coming up after this.